Okay, we are ready. Good morning. It's August 10th, 2023 at the regular board meeting at Magna Water at 8885 West, 3500 South, General Office Building. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Will you please stand with us and for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome the public and guests. Anybody here today, I'm going to kind of jump a little bit. Does anybody here have a conflict with anything on this agenda? Okay, I see none. Any public comment that would like to address the board?
Do we need to say who's here?
Yeah. Go ahead, David. You can.
I'm just going to introduce myself formally, put it on the record so you can't prove that I wasn't here. My name is David Rickey. I'm the new city manager here in Magna. Practiced law for about 28 years. When I got an opportunity to be a city manager in West Jordan, jumped, because I like lawyers, be lawyers. And then I was just recently in Riverton. It's a wonderful opportunity to see Magna through to whatever the council decides they want to head. And if you ever need me, my phone number is 385-977-2275. Thank you for letting me join you today.
And I've worked with him, and I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Welcome, David.
Okay, other than that, so let's so let me tell you something. So today on our diocese, we have Clint Dilly, not Nathan Bracken. We might want to flip that. Katie Steffi is legal counsel, Dallas Henline, Jeff White, Mick Sudbury, Danny Stewart, Leal Fitzgerald, and Andrew Shumsun, and Raymond Mondragon.
Trevor is excused.
Oh, and Trevor, didn't see him sitting there. So Trevor is excused. Okay, approval of common consent items.
Minutes of the regular board meeting held July 13th, 2023. Expenses for July 3rd to July 31st, 2023. General expenses, $1,265,139.18. Zions Bank bond of $84,094.69.
I'll second it.
Bid motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna move on to item G. Who wants to take this one?
I think we'll hand that over to Dallas.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, so the WEAU, the Water Environment Association of Utah, has several different award categories, and there's a newer one that recognizes mentors and how they contribute to the positive atmosphere of our industry. And so, talking amongst our team, we've decided to put and recognize Clint Dilly.
awesome.
And I just wanted to read a little bit of what we submitted. So, Clint is a great teacher of patience, understanding, perspective, and critical thinking. His mentoring has helped improve all aspects of our careers. His understanding of relationship building, leadership skills, and management techniques, along with his focus on professionalism and communication, set him apart from managers of the past. He takes time to make sure we understand and can excel in our roles while also encouraging our personal growth. Clint manages our district with integrity and is a great example to all of our team members of the district. So this is something that they'll be recognized for at the WEAU mid-year conference.
Awesome.
And that's what you submitted, and then they came back and said,
Correct.
I guess the award.
Yep.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, so it's a little different than an award. It's not like the plaques that we've seen in the past.
Right.
It's just recognition amongst peers at the conference.
Well, congratulations, Clint.
That's good.
Well, thank you, Dallas and the team. That means a whole lot to me. I appreciate it.
Well deserved.
It is.
He has to put up with the board, so. Okay, let's move on to item H, department report. I'm gonna turn this to Clint.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Chairman. You have your report in the packet. I thought I'd just highlight a couple things that I wanted to point out to the board, but as always, if anything else on there you wanted to talk about, please let me know. First one, staffing has been a priority out here since I started. I think we're in fairly good shape overall with staffing, with a few exceptions. We are still trying to hire a staff engineer, and that the response to that has been slower than we'd hoped, but much like what we anticipated, given the timing that we posted the advertisement right here in the middle of the summer after the graduates had, many of them selected who they were going to work for in the spring. So we're hoping that a fall push at the colleges and universities, that's going to be our next target, where we're going to make a hard push, and Andrew and Trevor will be attending some of the job fairs. So we wanted to keep the board posted. That's where we're at on that.
How about our person that found Andrew for us? Is that person working on this?
They aren't yet. We wanted to give this a shot and see what we could find, but we haven't written that off. We told them if we struggled.
Aren't we struggling then?
We are. I think if we can't get somebody by fall, we would turn that direction. We would recommend to the board that we go that direction.
There seems to be a lot of people in the workforce area that are unhappy the way they're being treated, so.
Yeah, it's certainly,
A person that would know that.
yeah. But yeah, that's the next step if we can't.
Now, a question on that though, does she do that? I'm not sure she does that.
She's not as geared towards the target. That was one of the reasons we didn't go that direction. What we're targeting is probably not as easy for her to fill.
Well, except I was just thinking if you call and talk to her,
Right.
give her an idea what you're looking for,
Yeah.
she may run across something like that.
Yeah, we did reach out to her initially, and she kind of confirmed that, yeah, that's not necessarily where she targets usually, but certainly would be open to doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure yeah, okay.
The other thing I will point out is on our operations. We recently had a sanitary survey inspection completed of all the facilities on the water side. Division of Drinking Water came out and spent the whole day with Raymond and Matt.
Touring all our facilities and inspecting all our sites, our water tanks, and turned out to be a good inspection. Brought a couple little issues to us, which we're addressing.
One of them was a venting of our fluoride.
Your
The
fluoride.
day tank needs to be vented.
It's vented, but what it is, they want individual vents.
Yeah.
So we have to put
Change to
another
the
vent in instead. It all goes into, tie all the day tank and the storage tank tie into 1 2-inch line. They have to be separated. So, which is not a big deal. We can do that in-house, but that was one thing that they had brought to our attention.
So we still have the ladder
Yeah.
on the tank.
4100 tank is requiring cage for the ladder.
Oh, anything over 8 feet, they want a cage on it?
Yeah, so we have to look into that and get that, some quotes and get that budgeted for,
Have you got somebody to bid on that, so you,
not yet as well, we're working on that right now.
Those were two minor deficiencies. They don't count much on the point system. They start really coming down as at 100 points that you start getting
Yeah, deficient.
really major problems. But we're gonna work on those two minor things in the meantime, and we should.
Raymond, is it bolted so they could just give you a new one that you could bolt in place to replace that one?
No, these ladders are pretty old. These are the ones of the original tanks. That's actually one of the first tanks we have. It's one of the 500,000. So these ones are actually gonna have to be constructed and built to the tank.
Maybe, I was just thinking, maybe they could cut it in a way and drill some holes in it to where you could bolt a new one in. It would probably cost a lot less.
Yeah, I'll look into it, and then, like I said, I'll bring that to the board for you guys' attention when that's all completed. And
One of the things we don't like about them is we don't get up on them as often as if we had more easily accessible. I think, you know, a lot of places are going to that wraparound style.
Yeah.
Where you just walk up like more of a
Oh, like down at the,
stair.
Stairway to Heaven down there
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
at the,
that's a lot more expensive.
It is,
yeah.
but you do get a lot more frequent
convenience.
inspections when you've got that style.
Yeah, everybody thinks that's ours down there, that tank.
So if I remember right on the OSHA thing, you could also put a cable up there and, where you put a harness on and go up with a
Yeah, and that's what
cable.
we have on our other tanks right now, is it has a poles that goes up and it has a latch where you you have a, so is that where I'm looking for, Dallas? Like a lanyard, yeah, kind of, that we used to get up on these tanks.
Is that an option for this one?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
We're working on that, want to make the board aware of that. The other thing I wanted to highlight is we have had some challenges with the TSS concentration in this canal. We've been working with the canal company. There's not a whole lot they can do. They recognize that our section's one of the most challenging for them in terms of water quality.
Yeah, but what they told me was from 8,400 this way is the dirtiest part of the canal. We was kind of going over some scenarios, and they're just said, recommending if we put like not a screen, but a diverter in front of the screen, so when the water come down, it'll push everything around it.
Go on by.
Yeah, so that's a recommendation we're probably gonna do this fall when the canal's down.
Do you have to get permission from the canal company to do that?
No, I was just trying to find out. They just come out and just kind of recommended that other districts are doing that, where they've taken water from the canal, just,
Of course, when the stuff is suspended, it's pretty hard to
Yeah.
divert it. Huh?
what's working, there's a lot of moss, and moss will come through, and the screens will catch it, and so it's causing a lot to go inside the wet well, so.
So we
So
had
could
to,
that be
we had
the-
to adjust, we went to a more frequent backwash on our filters.
So could that be the cause when these people call me and say that
Yeah.
their sprinklers are getting plugged off?
Yes.
This
So we made some adjustment. We haven't had as many calls recently.
Yeah, we haven't had no calls. What it is, it was backwashing every 7 minutes. We end up having to turn it to every 2 minutes to backwash. It was so bad. And it was plugging up the amiotes, so we was kind of struggling with it for about a week, almost 2 weeks, trying to get that iron down to where we had a nice medium where it was working with the amiotes flushing.
I have disc filter on mine and my screens on my head still plugged.
Oh, yeah?
Real fine stuff.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, we will, that challenge will be much easier once we have reuse water.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna be in a different boat, but, we're making good progress on that project, so. Wanted to bring that to the board's attention. The other thing I wanted to note, here, I thought was a neat milestone is that the wastewater team, as part of the planning and the data collection, has installed 3 flow monitoring devices on each of the 3 main trunk lines to the wastewater plant. Dallas, would you mind letting them know what that'll help with as we do our planning?
Sure. So what the thought behind these devices is, it gives us a better idea of what amount of flow is coming from which parts of the district. So as we consider future pipeline upgrades or capacities at the treatment plant, rather than just knowing our daily flow that enters the treatment system, we're incrementally working our way outside of the gates of the treatment plant to understand how heavy flows are from this part of town to that part of town, and even seasonally, so.
We're excited about that. And then last, I wanted to highlight that we had that scam notice flyer. We've made the board aware of that. It's actually getting quite a bit of news coverage in other agencies. I saw an article on Saratoga Springs, and then I saw one just yesterday on Salt Lake City. Had a similar problem, but essentially what it is it's a private company or companies that come and put a door knocker notice and say, hey, urgent, you gotta call us, you've got a problem with your water. They pretend to be misrepresent themselves as an agent of the city or utility and ask people to actually go in the house.
Yeah, and they use the Magna Water logo.
We haven't seen that yet.
I've seen one on Facebook.
Okay,
And like you said, we talked the other night down at the township council meeting about that. And then they have that, what is the other source? What's the other one that, they want to replace your water or, your, sewer lot? It's
the home serve.
home served. And like I said, Salt Lake City used them and they had issues, but people think that's us.
Right. So we put it on the website and emailed it out to our customers. We put it on Facebook. We continue to educate customers that call in. We have referred, the local police are aware of it. They were one of the ones that had brought one of them to our attention. And I think it's one of those things where it seems like there's some malintent criminal behavior misrepresenting, but I don't know.
David,
where it's coming from. David, do you have something on it?
No, I would just say, please call the police.
Yeah.
They're using false pretense to gain entry. It's a crime. Our police officers would respond quickly, I hope, given the nature of the injury.
and they're aware of it too.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we'll,
are they-
we'll continue to refer them to the police.
Are they selling insurance or are they selling actual?
There's two different programs. That home serves a little bit more of a legitimate, business. I
Can you remember when they came
No,
out and
it's
talked
not.
to us about that?
They actually go through Dominion.
Their
Yeah,
water.
they,
think Dominion.
Well, HomeServe I thought was under Dominion,
yes.
and you think it's Dominion Gas Company, but it's not.
Right.
And they're trying to get you to pay to guarantee your gas line that absolutely within the house, which will never deteriorate unless you've got water leaking on it or something. And so I think that's misrepresentation.
Yeah, I think there's some shady component to a lot of it. But one thing we do educate the customers is once a year, we have attempted to let them know, hey, we don't provide the service insurance, but you can get that from your homeowner's policy. But it's often an adder, so a lot of people think they're covered, but so.
When I
We'll
called,
run
it was-
another
It
educational
was only
flyer.
$5 to add on. It was not too bad.
Yeah.
And we recommend that.
Can I ask a quick question
Sure.
on this? In light of this going on in your community, have you thought about when you're telling people not to trust these flyers, that you are reaching out to them to get information on their service line connection with their home?
Yeah.
Because you hate to have them confuse this situation
Right.
with the legitimate request that you're sending out.
Yeah, we're educating them on how to properly identify a Magnum Water employee. I think we talked about having them get information, but at the same time, the customers are usually pretty frustrated, and we don't feel like sometimes that's the appropriate time to deal with ask a customer to give us more information when they're
I wonder,
frustrated when they're calling. But it's a good thought.
do you think we should do a flyer maybe?
We have done a flyer.
Yeah.
On this particular situation for
Yes.
people missing?
Yeah, we did put out a notice.
We put it out there
Scam
with their bill.
Yeah.
I think we were planning on putting a hard copy in our September 1 bill
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know, and that wouldn't be probably a bad idea too, is maybe, like I said, put it in our, maybe every other month or every month, because it doesn't cost any more money just to throw it in and,
Very minor.
you know, so people, what do you think, Katie?
The more you can educate, the better.
Okay.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to, we do respond to customer concerns. We did have a customer who got a yellow notice door hanger, just over here, our neighbor, and he was a little frustrated. It made him feel like he had done something wrong. And we were just concerned about his usage and that he might have a leak.
Oh, yeah.
So he expressed concern that he had a yellow notice and he felt like he was kind of called out, right, for doing something wrong, and we were just trying to help. So we've talked about maybe creating a different notice that says, hey, because we're being more proactive, helping, trying to catch leaks, but we also have to balance sensitivity to the customer, because some people take offense to that, you know, if.
I think that's great. To let them know, because sometimes they don't know they have a leak.
Right, but how we do it's important. So we're gonna look into other options.
Maybe a blue
A
tag.
different
instead of
color,
yellow.
yeah.
Yeah, we were thinking about.
So I have a question for you. So, there's a gentleman that was out of town for 2 weeks and his water thing broke outside. And, he just got his one bill,
I just got it.
just got it. But where the expense is gonna be on the other bill, we do have something for that, don't we? I mean, if they can prove they were out of town for 2 weeks and,
If they can prove it was a leak and they catch it as soon as possible.
well, he caught it as soon as he caught it as soon as he got back home, as he went down the basement. Luckily, his basement was not finished
Oh,
and everything was up on,
Lee Isle has a standard protocol that she'll,
Yeah,
work with and give, a break. It's not,
it's a discounted
it's a
rate.
discounted rate
Right.
to cover our cost, our
Yeah.
base cost.
that's good.
okay. Yeah, cause I think we need to, be able to work with, cause like I said,
I had
I
one
think
with
that program has worked well.
I had one where the toilet was overflowing, and they didn't even know it. And because we notified them, they were thankful from that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they told the girls that called them, but, but they were thankful that they didn't know.
well, Mayor Dan had that situation. He kept saying, I show that my water's running, and he says, I can't find a leak or anything. I said, Dan, you know where usually it is? It's your toilet where it comes up and your thing overflows and it goes down in. Guess what? That's what it was.
Something else.
That's what I wanted to highlight, unless there's any questions from the board.
Nope, thank you very much on that.
Awesome.
Okay, what about who's doing the engineering report?
I can do that.
Okay,
Since Trevor's not here. I think he just has a few projects highlighted in black here that he wanted to highlight on the project list. The water reclamation facility reuse project, they're finishing up the wall rebar, and the wall's scheduled to be poured next week, August 14th. Dallas can confirm. I think we've been pleased overall with the efforts of the contractor. Is that a fair representation?
very impressive. I was down there last week and we'll go on that door. That's the reuse.
The influent pump station, actually, I wouldn't mind having some input from Dallas and Clint on this one. Sure. But I think, from my standpoint, it's moving along. Would you guys give anything you want to add?
Sure, so influent pump station, we're meeting on Monday to go over the 50% design. We've got a separate agenda item today where we talk about equipment selection. So that project's moving right along. Been a good team effort, and I think we're right where we want to be.
Anything you want to add, Clint?
No, we're getting that agenda item is selecting some equipment that will allow us to move the design forward, so it's good.
We're excited
Thank you.
about that project. The wastewater treatment plant facility plan update is going to be kicking off next week. We did, obviously, master planning, that's kind of master planning, big picture stuff. And so we wanted to invite the board, if the board wanted to be part of that. We felt like this first meeting probably wouldn't be the right timing for that. But if there's interest, we will certainly extend an invite to the meeting that makes sense.
Okay, so on that, I think with legal counsel, probably agree. We'll probably want to post it as, a special meeting.
If you wanted the whole group.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we all could
Yeah, 'cause
make
you're-
it.
You're not making any decisions, you're sitting in.
Right,
so-
but you still, there's three of us, so
Yeah, if you're still doing any discussions.
still of us.
If you wanted one representative to go,
Okay.
like we did with the master, I thought it was great having.
That was awesome.
I would really like
Part of
Jeff to
that.
go because he has the knowledge, but depending on how busy he is,
Yeah,
or if Danny wants to go or whatever, I mean, or I can go, but like I said, it would really be good if we could all go and listen in, but you know, I mean, we have to post it as that and.
Yeah. We want to find that right balance of where we're not in the weeds. We're to the point of having those big picture, hey, what do you think about this direction and this direction, rather than.
You probably don't want all the board members there asking all these questions. You know?
So, but if there's interest there, we'll keep the
Okay.
board posted and make sure we include that. The Haynes Well number 8 replacement is moving along well. CRS is completed the well drilling and casing design. We're just waiting. We will be getting that submitted to water rights for approval.
Are we pumping out of that well now?
Haynes Well number 8, you're not pumping anything.
No, we haven't pumped out of it.
So do they just drill a hole next to it?
Yeah, so one of the big advantages is of a replacement well is we don't need to go through the whole
Permit and everything?
it's the whole process. It's a condensed version, as long as it's within 150.
Yeah, I think it's about on 150 feet, and we're actually gonna be probably around 80 feet away from the existing.
Oh, you found a better location maybe that,
Yeah, we just went to the west of it.
So that does give us, streamlines all the approvals.
oh, good.
Yep, so it'll be.
And one other positive note, since we last met the board, we got word from the consultant with AE2S, Rocky, and Marie, that the Appropriations Committee recommended that $1.9 million grant.
Hey, Clint, not to stop you, why don't you introduce Marie? I'm sure everybody's met her, but you know, our new city administrator manager here has not. You want to
This
introduce?
is Marie Owens, formerly Division of Drinking Water Director, and now with AE2S. What's your official title? You perform many roles over there.
I am both a project manager and client manager,
Yeah.
whatever they want me to be.
And she's been helping us a lot.
It's been great to having her insight into the regulatory environment, and has helped guide us along with our lead and copper. And also with some funding and creative waste. They've already helped us get that $100,000 planning for the lead and copper, a grant there. And then this 1.9 million for the Haynes Well 8 grant would be a huge shot in the arm for the district.
Yes.
And they've helped move that forward through Congressman Stewart's office to the Appropriations Subcommittee. Now it's to the final budget. They've got to approve it, right, Congress? So we'll let you know maybe December-ish, January, hopefully.
It's hard to know exactly what the federal government will do.
Yeah.
That's what it's been in the past.
But that, both the well drilling nowadays and the pump house design are both quite costly.
Honestly, yes.
So we're thinking that could cover though 50% or more
Yes.
of the project
At
cost.
least.
So wanted to bring that to the board's attention. The basement remodel is generally complete. We're in the furniture selection process. Trevor has got 2 bids and is ready to kind of sit down and go through that with the chairman.
Okay.
We'll-
And is that including this diocese table too?
That's one thing, we're waiting on some of the other,
Okay,
it's mainly for the downstairs, but we've told them we want these.
right, because we probably could get a better deal if we were to,
Include it.
Yeah.
because when we did in the building, we got the chairs and they haven't been, on the low end bid.
Yeah, I think no one's gonna miss the orange chairs. Change house, we came up with a good solution, I think, down there with the
I was impressed.
chairman and the wastewater team. I think Dallas and Trevor put in quite a bit of thought, and I think we'll be able to get away with just generally putting in a new door for now. And then as we complete that master planning process, facility plan, we'll be able to look at a more permanent.
Yeah, and I like how Dallas brought that all up, let's just do that all at one deal, but I do really think what you guys have came up with down there is, so what we have, David, down there is, I'm gonna let Dallas explain that about the gases, about what we're doing.
Sure. So at the operations facility at the wastewater treatment plant, there's a facility that houses some pumping equipment and some piping equipment. And that's on the lower level of this building. It's a 2-level building. On top of that, on the main floor is the operations control center. So, and then their break room and locker room area. So there was some concern with the aging infrastructure in the basement and some of the potential gases or just the smells and potential contamination from some of that equipment, that there could be the perception of a health danger or any type of contamination crossover between where we're supposed to be having clean area for break room and clean area for locker room versus operations. So we've put a plan in place to address those concerns, to not only protect the district, but to protect the employees.
And it's awesome. Thank you again.
Do we need to put, or do you guys need to add a small fan down there to get some air changes down there possibly?
That's part of it.
If you put a door up there, I'm just saying it kind of closes the basement, so
Sure.
maybe
put some
we
fans.
should ask if we could get just a small fan.
It's worth absolutely checking.
Exhausted outside, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that.
But there is some fans down there, right there, the wall fans?
There's some wall fans.
Yeah, the wall fans that are there,
Do they draw from outside?
they draw from down there and draw it outside,
Correct.
you know,
PRB fan.
you know.
Okay. I think that's the engineering.
Okay, thank you, Clint. Okay, Raymond, let's hear your water.
Water production report call out. The Colony water production in the month of July was 255.1 million gallons, or 782.94 acre feet, a 1.3.8 increase for 2022. Year to date is 923.76 million gallons, or 2,835.13 acre feet, and 5.14 decrease of 2022. We have purchased 474.97 acre feet of Jordan Valley as of now. Secondary water production of the month of July was 72.4 million gallons, or 222.34 acre feet, a 7.75 increase of 2022. Year to date as well as 157.09 million gallons, or 482.13 acre feet, and 10.6% increase of 2022. Call out report combined. Total call outs for the month 26. Water 19 call outs, wastewater 7. Total hours 102.5. That is my call out report for July.
Thank you, Raymond. Okay, let's move it on down to wastewater. Dallas?
Sure. A couple more project updates, Mr. Chairman. I wanted to give you guys a quick briefing on our local limits evaluation that we're partnering with Northrop Grumman, previously known as Alliant Tech. We met yesterday. Things on that project are going pretty smoothly. Right now, we're just analyzing our data, the gaps in the data, outlining a sample plan of that'll help us evaluate where we need to be. We collectively have come up with a list of pollutants of concerns, and then they've kind of give us an idea of which pollutants they would like to have evaluated. I'll bring information time to time to the board about this project. I think this project probably goes for a year. So if you don't hear something about it month to month, you know, there's probably 6 to 8 months of sample collection throughout the city. So it's not a real quick project. So I'll keep you posted on that as best as we can. I wanted to bring up, there was an incident at the wastewater treatment plant where there was a power outage, and power pole caught on fire. So the power pole sits just inside our gated property. There was a notification from the on-call service that we had lost power. So we had an operator respond, the fire department responded, Unified Fire responded. There wasn't any Magna Water property or equipment damage. So this led to a discussion with the district and Unified Fire, just making sure they have access to our facilities in the event of an emergency. They're gonna come down and see the facility, and we'll show them entry points, alternate entry points, and we've talked about the codes so that they can access the gate if there was an emergency. There could be an emergency that Unified Fire responds prior to a district employee, and what I mean by that is if there's a fire in the property that doesn't cause a disruption in operations, then our operators won't get notified about it. But Unified could potentially get there before we do. So we wanted to make sure they could get into the gates and do anything that they needed and not have to wait for us. So Rocky Mountain Power came out, they cut the top of the damaged pole off. They replaced all the instrumentation on that. And so we're back in business. I think, you know, we've discussed over the last year the power deficiencies down at our portion of that property, and with some of these lots adjacent to and around the treatment plant being purchased and people moving in, I think this is one more step to where that power line gets addressed. And hopefully we'll get some more reliability out of that. We started excavating for the concrete pad that our next fuel tank will sit on. So I'm expecting the arrival of that tank early September. That'll be a fuel tank for each one of our generators. This could potentially put us to 5 to 6 days of operation without power.
Wow.
So, with that, Mr. Chairman, that's all, unless you have any other questions.
Nope, I do not. Okay, let's go over to our controller, Leal.
Okay, the first thing on the agenda is the compliance report. The second quarter, June 2023 information is being presented to the board today, so that's completed. And then the June 2023 year-to-date financials have been posted to the transparency website. So that's done. The semi-annual state money management council report that's due semi-annually has been completed and submitted on time. The rest of them, we did have an ethical behavior training on July 26th, and I believe that section of all the employee training, it's been completed, so
Awesome.
that's great. As far as the election, there has not been too much new news for special districts. It's still scheduled for November 21st. We're up to date with notices and filings, and we're waiting for the county to send out basically the ballots. Yeah, there's not much.
Do they
update
have,
on that one.
does the candidate have a time frame that they can withdraw?
Yeah, the last date of withdrawal is September 22nd
Okay.
this year. And that's to have them completely removed from the ballot. They could withdraw closer to the election, it just wouldn't take
Take
the
them
name
off the ballot. Okay.
That's it for the compliance report, unless anybody has any questions. And if it's okay, Mr. Chair, I'll go ahead and go into the financials.
Go ahead.
So for the end of June 30th, 2023, the district's reporting a $5.2 million income. And then down below on the first page, it has the detail of each category there. The second page is the chart showing the revenue, actuals versus budget. I have 2023 actual budget and then 2022 actuals, just to compare from one year to the next. I think we look really good in each category. The impact fees are looking very high. We do accrue some during the year, so if they don't get paid, that bar would go down, but they have to be paid to continue their development, so. The third page is the same information, June 2023 year-to-date expenses, actual versus budget versus last year. We're right within budget, in fact, under budget for most categories in our expense section. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, I love that.
The fourth page is just basically letting you know this is where some of our money's going. We've had 1.03 million paid towards projects so far, capital improvements from January to June. The next slide is showing what we have as far as assets or cash in the bank. 11.7 is restricted.
We have what in our reserve, 20,
The total of those two is 36.
36 million?
Yes, so 11.7 is restricted, which means we can only spend it on certain things.
Geez, and when I started here, it was like 21, I think.
Interest rate is really good for having money in the bank right now. But bad if we take out a lease, no.
Yeah.
So we're sitting good there. And our master plan does allow for some spending throughout that 10-year period that they evaluated for. The next slide is, again, just showing you some places our money's been going. It's a decrease in our payables for the year. Most of it's our bonds that we've paid towards 1.8. Accounts payable, we've decreased them by 800,000. Payroll, we increased it by the end of June by 10. Same with developer related, we increased it by 141. Most of that is the developers paying us money before we actually do the work to get it.
Okay.
So once we do the work and Epic does the work for those, that will decrease. And then following that is detail line by line. So if you go through it and have any questions, let me know.
I went through and it looked good to me.
Thank you. That's all. That's my report.
Hey, thank you. Okay, let's go over to the HR. Andrew?
So the first item, well, the only item you'll see under my report is the safety manual update. We just finished up our 4th revision on the safety manual. The board chairs expressed some interest to come be a part of our safety committee. We're pretty excited to have his input on this. We're looking at having one more meeting and then making one last edit after that, and then bringing it back to the board for possible adoption if that's satisfactory for the board.
Absolutely.
I do have a draft copy here. Let's see. Don't pull up. Not on. There it is. So what the board can see here. Oh,
There's something wrong with this picture because everybody has a computer except for 2 of us.
I'll get you some.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just wanted to bring that up. This is good.
What you'll see is we have a safety manual. What we did is we got a version of Granger Hunters. They allowed us to borrow it. We're trying to edit it to fit our district. And so what we've done is we went through and we've compiled an index and we're slowly putting together some information. There's still a few things that I'm in contact with the health department and some other entities trying to get direction on what would be best for us. And so I'll try and have that information for our safety meeting and we'll get some input from the board there.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this for the ability of the managers and, I mean, obviously to keep our team members safe, right? That's our priority. But also for the managers to be able to make sure that they can hold that accountability and those reminders, hey, you know, we've detailed the procedures here, what our expectations are. It provides clarity, and this is something that we're going to be we're excited to have as a tool. Yeah. Right? And so,
And it makes it good for you guys, because like I said, that way it keeps everybody accountability, and, you know, you got this, it's like, okay, it's all laid out for you.
and I know that's been a long-running priority of the board. So
Yeah.
just to get to this point, we're getting near the finish line here.
It's been 14 years for me.
It's been a tedious process. There's 160 pages in it right now.
Yeah.
And so the committee's done a good job of putting it together. Is there any other input on that? The only other thing I'd like to highlight is that we are coming to the last couple of groups for our Arbinger training. We should finish that up this month, and then from there we'll start having monthly tune-ups in safety meetings.
And we did get our boots all squared up, right?
That's an item later on, but
Okay,
yes, I
okay.
think so.
Okay.
You ready for that right now? Okay. That's it for the HR report.
Okay, great, thank you.
That map would probably be the best one to zoom in on here next time.
This one right here, the bottom one.
Right there.
As good as this is Trevor is.
Yeah, this is Trevor's.
He usually has
When the board's ready.
live GIS.
Yeah.
You ready to
Yeah, well, I'm ready.
talk about
Yes.
this one? Maverick, this is a new proposed Maverick development. They're coming asking for water and sewer service. This is on the corner of 2400 South and 5600 West, by the wrecking yards. What's referred to as the wrecking yards area. if you're
I see where they've been cleaning it up and tearing everything down.
This is on that corner. Trevor was pretty excited about this. This is another potential RV dump location. Mavericks, and the one that they've installed has been pretty successful so far, to my understanding. That's reduced traffic to our facility. And we're hopeful that this will provide some more options for our customers. On RV, we do have a 16-inch water line in 5700 West along the west frontage of this property, and an 8-inch water line along 5600 West that ends at the northeast property line of the development. Sewer service is also available. There's a 12-inch sewer line in 5700 West. And then there's some dry line secondary water that will have them extend. So we propose that they connect and extend some main between Lester Street, which is 5700 West, and 5600 West, and connect to the 12-inch sewer in Lester Street, and then install some dry secondary water line along this development. So we can provide service to this Maverick, and we'd recommend the board approve it, but certainly any questions?
No, I just hope that they do. I hope that's better. Of course, it's in West Valley. Get in and out of it than the one we have down on 8,000.
I think this is gonna be worse.
You think?
I will highlight, this does fall in a drinking water source protection zone, so we do add language
Okay,
in the water and sewer availability that Trevor's got here that tells them the expectations
Oh.
and what we are gonna look for to make sure that they're not doing anything that could harm our well fields.
okay.
Oh, good.
Just a reminder to the board that we do make sure and check, when any new development comes in, we pull out the source protection zone maps, and we're overlaying that to make sure that anybody in those zones, we're notifying and
Okay.
following up on.
You guys have any questions?
No.
Okay, does somebody want to make an approval?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve water and sewer availability to the Maverick on 2400 south and 5600 west.
Second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Yep.
on the next item, Andrew, do you wanna?
Yeah, so when we installed the bulletproof glass, we knew that there was a possibility that we might need to go with intercoms, but to initially keep costs down, we went without it to see how that would go. With the HVAC system, when it kicks on, it makes it really difficult for the front office staff to hear people unless they speak right up into the hole and they turn their ear, and so it makes it difficult for them to communicate with the customers. So what we're proposing is to have the same company that installed the glass come install these intercoms. As you can see, it just takes out that little insert that's in the glass already, and this fills that insert, and then you plug it in down below. And so we feel that it would be beneficial for our customers and our front office staff to do this, so we propose that we approve this.
So let me ask you, Katie, on something like this, we don't have to approve this because he's within his,
I'm assuming that's all.
Yeah,
but I know, I appreciate you
wanted to
bring.
bring it
Yeah, and
because-
I like that, I do like that, but I mean, you know, I feel like if you bring it just to us and just, and if we have a drawback, then we can draw back, but we don't have to approve this, do we? Okay, because it's the manager's discrepancy. Okay. You guys okay with that?
Yeah, he's approved up
It was, you're right.
Right.
You're approved up to $9,000.
But no, we do appreciate you bringing this stuff to us, so we do know, but like I said, you know, if there's any drawback, but
It's on the agenda. Do you want to make a motion?
do we have the motion if since it's on the agenda, or,
You don't have to,
okay,
if you don't have any concerns.
okay. Do you think we need to?
I can do it.
Okay, go for it then.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the SC 100 transaction intercoms for the front office in the amount of $4,066 by B&G Glass.
Been motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Okay,
I'll just, as a comment to that, one of the thought processes I have is when there's a higher potential that the board's gonna get comments from the public.
Oh,
okay,
Any interaction point we have with the public, I feel like is a high potential for.
oh, that don't happen.
So, those are the ones I specifically make sure.
Okay, nope, I appreciate that.
And this, we have had some comments on the, glass.
On the glass.
Yeah, because it is hard to hear, you know,
Muffling.
it's pretty thick stuff, isn't it? Okay, let's move on to number 2.
Is that Dallas?
Yes, sir. All right, Mr. Chairman and Board, item 2, for those of us with a hard copy, it's page 57, I believe. This is the pre-procurement of the equipment for the pump station down at the wastewater treatment plant, the influent pump station. 57 is the write-up that explains our evaluation process for evaluating this type of equipment. I think Stantec's given a real informal, informational write-up on the manufacturers that submitted equipment, how we evaluated them, kind of their cost breakdown, and then a summary and a recommendation of which direction we would like to go. So, pre-procurement of this equipment specifically allows us to move forward in our design. It allows us to design for pre-selected equipment specifically. It allows us a better opportunity to lock in pricing and then to avoid any of the longer lead times that we've been seeing on this type of equipment. It's our recommendation based on what we've come up with as an operations team, as our consulting engineers, that we move forward with these selected items.
Okay,
so Huber's been doing it for a long time. Is SNL a newcomer?
SNL is not a newcomer. There was, I'll just briefly go over the deciding factor there. So the grit removal equipment specifically, both Huber and Smith and Lovelace had put in equipment. Huber is what we currently have, but it's a two-part system. So we have a Smith and Lovelace system that pumps to a Huber system, and it's the Huber system we're looking to replace. When Smith and Lovelace put in their bid, they went above and beyond. They not only addressed all of our equipment needs for the existing equipment, but they made some recommendations based on the 20-year age of our existing equipment. They met all of our needs, and the write-up was complete, and we like the additional information that they gave in. We also like the idea of marrying both pieces of the operation together through the same manufacturer, so.
Okay. Oh, good.
We've got Clint Rogers from Stantec in the public today. Would you like to add anything else?
And we also have Smith and Levels, the rep Mike Swanson here too.
Okay.
So, yeah, we had some good bids and feel like, districts have got good information, good pricing here, move forward.
What will this do for the district, in your opinion, in terms of operations? How will this help us?
Yeah, I mean, again, this whole project is huge because right now we're not able to handle all the flow that comes to the plant, and that backs up into your collection system. Reduce maintenance, it'll move flow through the plant better. This grid system in particular, right now you only have one unit, and so it's a real weak point that could go down in the middle of the night, and part of this bid is that you're getting both a duty unit and a standby unit, so you'll have
Wow.
backup. So there's multiple
benefits.
benefits that are coming from this investment that you're making.
I would like to say one more thing. Mike Sorensen from Smith and Lovelace, he's been great in answering all of our questions. He's made it possible for us to tour other facilities with this existing equipment. So we've seen some other facilities that have this specific equipment. We met with Mike when we went to WebTech in Louisiana, and he showed us their equipment on the floor, and we were able to ask operational questions and get some of the more technical questions answered for us. So that's been great. We really appreciate it.
Great.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the screw pumps and grit washers in the amount of $860,436.54 with an initial payment of $79,134.09 for special services.
A second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 3.
Raymond's gonna take that one.
Take that, Mr. Chairman. This is a bid that we put out for recommendation to have NOLA Construction do a repair on 8,000 due to a irrigation line settling on a 10-inch line, causing it to break. Due to the fact that we're unable to rent track hole that go deep enough and be safe enough to complete the job. So I'm just looking for approval for this job.
Okay. Does the board have any questions?
No.
Okay.
When I get back to it. I don't know why it's so.
You can see the other bid, there's 2 bids, I got it. I tried to get 3, but everybody's so busy right now, and we looked at renting a track hole, but they're unavailable right now at this point. Everyone's out on a lease, and so we're not able to rent anything
That's
if
just
we
crazy.
tried to do it.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the 10-inch DIP waterline loop at 3,700 south and 8,000 west for the amount of east side of the roadway by Nolan Construction in the amount of $36,500.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's move on to number 4.
So I think it was in March, the board approved 10,000, or UCI scanning services up to $10,000. When they came out and picked up everything that we had downstairs and everything that we had moved into the pods, he called me about 2 weeks ago and says, we're approaching the 10,000, because I says, you need to let me know.
And this will finish it then.
He gave me an estimate of 10 to 15 more thousand to finish everything that they had picked up. And that would finish everything that they have in their possession right now. So the only other thing we would do is, as time goes on, we would take, a few boxes here and there. It would be a sporadic type service, so they would just keep us up to current
Will
scanning.
this let us get rid of all the paper?
So,
Everything that was in the pods and downstairs, besides what's in my,
okay, so
what's in my room.
that's what I was gonna get to. So we're gonna clean everything out, and so we should be really caught up, or do we, oh, awesome.
There might be things in everyone's offices that they wish that they could have scanned
Well,
before.
why don't we do that? Cause let's just, while we're on this, doing this, my recommendation to the board is I think we should just go ahead and get it finished, you know what I mean? And then that way you can add to it as we go. Now, again, explain, this is the prisoners, right? The
It's,
prison.
Utah Correctional Industries that scans.
Yeah, you wouldn't
They
get this
have the
done.
Utah State contract for printing, scanning, all kinds of office services, and
And the price is unbelievable.
yeah.
It's like slave labor, it seems like.
Yeah.
They were, I think, I can't remember, was it $7 an hour?
Yeah, $7 an
$7
hour.
an hour, and that
Pretty cheap.
wasn't per person.
That was
That's
for the
If
group.
there's 10 of them, it's still $7 an hour. So I think they've done a good job. They have been calling me here and there and asking questions and, does this look
Did any of you guys
okay?
go down there? Cause when they said, yeah, you wanna go, and I thought, no, they might keep me, so.
I did not go down there.
up.
You've been happy with what they've,
Their communication and what I've seen, it's good.
Real good.
Now, once they
Good quality.
scan, once they scan it, then how is it in a format so you can access it if you need?
It's gonna be in PDFs,
Okay,
and they're going to transfer all the information on a 4 terabyte drive, external drive. So we'll bring that back.
I mean, is it just one big, long scan of information, or,
No, they've built in folders,
okay,
so it'll be kind of in like a file format, an Explorer
Windows Explorer.
Windows Explorer, thank you, file format.
okay.
And then, my hopes and anticipation is that we would upload, to our servers, all that information into what we have, Cassell Document Management. Then we can start searching documents, and it'll search all those, and
Oh, right
it'll all
on.
be there.
So you might wanna bring a flash drive up and put it in and just look at it and see. But should we put this information they've scanned all in a separate server, maybe?
We have, we've anticipated doing this for quite a long time, and we do have plenty of room on our server. I think we're 4 terabyte server, and I just checked with Justin the other day, and he says you have plenty of room on there. But we do have,
Separate.
last year we approved a server upgrade.
Right.
That's what I
It's
thought.
not quite done yet. I think we're just waiting to get it done. So we'll have plenty of room to put it on our own servers. If we have to, we can get an external drive like they're gonna provide to it. Well, they're not providing to us, they're gonna charge us for it, but it's only $200. We can have an external hard drive to keep that information and just have Justin configure it so we can access that drive when we need
That's,
to.
I kinda think you'd keep it separate over your operation thing, don't you?
And it will be partitioned.
Yeah.
It will be.
We'll have
It will
partition.
be in its
It will
own
be-
location, it won't be amongst all of our other files.
this is way neat. I mean, this is, wow.
I know that, another board priority that's.
It's a milestone.
Yeah.
So I had 2 goals before I could retire, this is one of them.
Okay, good.
Awesome, that is
Very
so.
good.
So you know what, so, just talking about this, I think, we as the board should continue doing this. When we have so much we need to have done, instead of like letting it,
Not file cabinets for 20 years.
yes, I agree, I
I
think,
think we should have, we might be able to have a general location for everyone to put, this needs scan, this needs scan, this needs scan.
Well, and
And
you
then
could
when
put
that box is full, ship
What
it over to them.
I would recommend to the board is that once we get, we'll have a better handle once we get all the information back.
right,
And once we've had a chance to get all of the basically what they've scanned
organize
and
it.
organized, we'll have a better feel, and then we can put in an annual program
Okay,
Yeah,
to deal with it annually, I think going forward. And then we could set a budget for any annual scanning, and we could include that in the first round of anything that we have amongst the employees. But I would recommend we hold off till we get a better
okay.
feel,
Okay.
but we'll come back.
okay, awesome.
there's a lot of scanning happening now every day by us. I mean,
Okay.
the documents that we get electronically anyway, we're electronically filing them. We're not handling
Good deal.
very much paper now.
So do we need to approve another 15,000?
My recommendation would be to approve the 15,000
Okay.
to finish what they have. It could come in less than that, but
Okay, did
That's the highest.
not succeed any more than 15.
yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to increase the UCI scanning amount to $15,000 to complete the scanning of the materials in the possession.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's move on to administration, item K.
Leal's gonna also update the board on that, maybe with Andrew on that.
Yeah, okay, this is the equipment, vehicle lease
Okay.
that, will replace the current one we have now for the new vehicles that we're leasing
Sorry.
right now. A copy of it was not in your packet because we didn't have it yet. There was just some delays between Larry H. Miller and Zion. Zion's actually turned this around in a week, so I was very pleased with them.
They've been really good to work with, haven't they? Is it still,
In my
is it
opinion.
still, what's his,
Alex. but-
Alex, yes.
Yeah. So the amount that was approved for the vehicle purchase was $819,797. That was back in June. The difference between that number and this lease, the lease is for $826,479. The difference between those two numbers is $6,682. That is Zion's fee to do the lease. It is less than 1% of the total amount. It's like 0.08%.
Well, that's good.
And this agreement will pretty much mirror what we've done the last two leases that we've had, and skip one time and then two before that.
Yeah. Katie.
It has been provided to Nathan for legal review because he has to submit a legal opinion along with this lease. And because we got it yesterday afternoon, he hasn't had a chance to do that. He said this morning he doesn't anticipate any glitches or issues with the lease, but
I remember he did go through it
he went through it
thoroughly,
quickly.
pretty thoroughly last time.
Yeah, and the times before, he's
Yep.
been through it.
And there was the one time we didn't use him.
That's why I said skip 1 year and do two before that. So on page A1, I don't know, is the amortization schedule for the payments. This lease program devises the payments to be less for the 30 months that we anticipate having the vehicles. But yet it also offers the district to pay for them in 5 years. The reason the payments are less the first 30 months is because we get a residual type value from the dealer, and Alex and his team kind of creates the lease to look like this. So we're paying less while we have the vehicle.
So let me ask you really fast. What did we feel? I knew the numbers, but just right offhand, what does it cost? And is it's really cheap?
It was about $89 a month per vehicle after the
Yeah, I didn't
buyback was
catch
done.
it. Do you remember that? I
It
don't
was right
remember
around
that.
80 or 90, it seems like.
How do we sign-
It seemed like a good, 1 year was too short.
Yeah.
We were worried about going
That was a
too
12-month.
Yeah, 5 years is too expensive.
long. It worked out, I think,
I think so. I think 5
Well,
years
at
you'd
the
start
30
losing
month.
your resale value, and so it worked out awesome.
So let me ask legal counsel, how do we get signed up on that for $89 a month? That's, you know, that's
gotta
just-
have a lot of
I-
capital to be able to do that up.
Yeah.
I know, that's unbelievable though. I mean, you can't, I mean, the maintenance on that is just, I mean, it's just $89 a month. I mean, it's just unheard of. I mean, it's just crazy. I'm so glad we went to this though. It's just been,
I think a 30-month is a good time
right.
too, and, yeah.
So are we
So
gonna-
that's the amortization schedule for all the vehicles. Alex has it at 5%, which in my opinion, I think 5% right now today is a good rate. Last lease, it was when, you know, everything was a lot lower and he had it as, I think, at 1%. So he just can't get the money for that.
So
We have to wait for Nathan to review this and then we'll approve it.
or Katie.
Nathan recommended that because he doesn't anticipate any changes, he just needs to render a legal opinion. If you are comfortable with the lease, then to go ahead and approve it, subject to his legal opinion,
You wanna do that?
and that was
Yeah.
his recommendation.
Do we wanna approve it based on,
Yeah, that's what I would recommend, that it's subject to your.
so are we gonna hit amount on it? Are we gonna tie this amount down, Leon?
I think we should be okay with this amount.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a proposal to approve the equipment lease, adoption of the equipment lease purchase agreement with Zions Bank Public Finance for the amount of $826,479. This is based on a legal counsel review of the documents.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor? Aye. So we ended up with 4 Equinoxes? 5 Equinoxes, and how many new trucks? 12?
Do you remember the total?
So there's gonna be 5 Equinoxes, 8 half-tons, and 4 3/4.
Okay.
There is a schedule in that lease on B1.
Yeah, I seen it. Okay,
We just don't have the VINs yet.
okay.
Now, I don't know what we should do, we're not putting enough miles, but I'm now finding out on, and I don't know if this is just the older Equinox, they've got some problems once they hit 150,000, but we're never gonna see that. Because
No, our high end was about 35,000.
yeah, but at 150,000, they start having some problems with the timing chain and stuff. So,
We'll keep an eye on them, yeah.
well, I don't think we.
And we're covered in the warranty anyhow for the 3 or 36.
Yeah,
So, and this has just been a really good project, and especially for that price.
well, the problem I
Yeah,
had,
the government pricing makes it hard to beat with the government discounts.
yeah, the problem I had is that in order to come up with an option to the Equinox, almost impossible. There's nothing in that price range that we're getting.
Yeah.
And that'll be
As long as
great.
we don't buy it, just lease
You
it.
know, and what's great about it is, at least for the managers, because that's perfect for you guys, what you know, for that. I mean, you said the big
Better
truck.
gas mileage.
Yeah.
I was looking at the dial and it keeps going up. It hit 28 miles a
Oh, wow.
gallon. Gone gas mileage. so-
And I noticed the color's a little bit darker gray, isn't it?
It is.
I like that color.
So do I. It's a lot nicer.
I tried and called and canceled mine to see if I could get that color. Said it's in build mode. Okay, our next meeting will be September 14th at 10 a.m. here.
Jeff, I thought, was it September that you said you might have a conflict with?
No, mine's in October.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Mine's in October. I have something that week of October 8th,
Okay.
so I just asked if we could move that to the 19th if possible. I know you don't like to move it forward, you like it a little later, so
Yeah, so September,
I'm just asking if we
October
move it to the 19th, but that's October.
If that's okay with everyone else.
I'm okay with that.
then should
We'll make
be
it work.
fine.
I'm okay.
So the 19th of October, so not next month, September 14th.
That's fine.
Is that right?
October.
That's
And then
fine.
we'll switch
Yeah,
October.
right. Gals?
I'm sorry, what was the date, Leo?
October 19th,
Correct, yep, that's fine.
okay.
Okay, and item L, does someone want to make a motion to close the open?
Sure. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to close to make a motion to do something here. Make a motion to meet immediately in closed meeting to discuss character, professional competence, physical and mental health of an individual, collective bargaining strategies, the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property, including any form of a water right or water share pursuant to Utah Code 52-4-204 through 205.
Okay, it's 11. Okay, go ahead.
I'll second that.
It's been motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
It's 11:14. David? Ready with that? Okay, go ahead.
It is 1:21. I'd like to make a motion to close and reopen the public board meeting at 1:22.
Second that.
It's been motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, in our closed door, any actions? Yes, we got to make one.
Yep.
Okay, Jeff.
What's this one right here? Field employee boot.
That's
Two items?
two on the
Oh, two
boots.
items, okay.
Okay, yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the employee boot program, maximum annual boot voucher, Osines, shoes?
Orsini.
Osini?
Yeah.
Oh, two S's, Osini shoes, for a maximum $200, for approval.
Second that.
Been motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
So really quick on this boot deal, so, what do? We give them out a pair of boots, one pair a year, right? Depending on,
I think they gotta show that they need them.
Yeah, they're just,
okay,
gotta turn
no,
them in.
I agree, it's not like, so they've been there changing a tire and the tire falls on it and rends. Not like down in Delta. So, okay, so do we have
So the managers will,
have to.
discrepancy?
to make sure they're justified and then send them over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make approval for the changes to the addendum H regarding executive benefit amendments.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do we have any other business to come up for the board or any? Okay. Someone want to make
I'd
some,
like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
okay, been motion second. All right.